Hey, there you go.
I'm trying to know.
He jumped in here. I know he had a late night. He been filming.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
man.
Hey, good morning, man.
For the tardiness.
You good,
Hey,
bro?
what's up, man?
What's cracking with it, brother? How you doing, sir?
Yo, I've been seeing you for a long time, man. Long
Man,
time.
I
I'm probably your
appreciate
first subscriber, man.
Oh, you think so, man? Hey, I appreciate that, brother.
How you
Yeah.
feeling, man?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling good, man. Yes,
Wow.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
All right,
go
let me
ahead.
try.
Talk to him. I'll just be on here, and then we'll pick up afterward.
All right, let me squeeze in it. I know you're a busy guy. You know, Hollywood, right?
Oh, no, North Hollywood. I live in North Hollywood. It's just like LA, like a watered down version of like Hollywood. It's a wannabes. North Hollywood is where people want to make it. They ain't made it yet, but they're trying to get there.
Nice.
So listen, Bigg Jah, right? So the
man?
question I asked Barry is that we often find people, maybe they're not even famous, but people that come back to their old neighborhood where they grew up at and they try to give back, right? Even the people they know, and they end up killed, set up by, different parties.
Yeah.
I interview several people, right? Because Bigg Jah, let me explain something to you. I try to interview everyone around you to get to you.
Oh, shoot.
If you look at all my my interviews before, it's all people G Wayne. I just a lot of people I just interview. I try to get to you. I was like, hey man, if you know him, just put a little whisper so you know. But they all said that you're very giving behind the scenes. Right. Even when people try to, they don't want to do it anymore. You called like G Wayne, you called them and said, listen, even when he didn't want to post, you took him behind the scenes, show him how it's done financially and so forth, and that's what made him want to go. So we probably won't hear about G Wayne if you didn't give him that little motivation. Why is it so important for you to give back?
Bro, because I know how hard it is. Sometimes people stop doing things because maybe they don't have the money, they don't have the time. It's a very uncomfortable feeling when you work so hard to do something and you don't feel like it's being recognized. And even if you might not be mad, but you might just be discouraged. You might not get the response from the masses that you want. You might not get the praise, not necessarily praise like good job, but this recognition for your hard work. And so it's hard to keep going. Like doing the social media content is cool when it's going, when it's moving, but to think of an idea, create the idea, get people around excited enough to do the idea with you, if that's what the idea calls for, other people to be involved, and then get them to be okay. I'll come to your house, or I'll meet up with you, and we'll do the idea, shoot the idea, then edit the idea, and then put the idea, and then get people to like it. You can't really get people to like it. You just have to put it out and hope that they like it. To do all those things and then for them not to really respond, you don't get the response that you think you want. And then to keep doing that day in, day out, every single week, every month, is not a very comfortable feeling to do it and feel like no one's paying attention. So, or feel like, man, I like doing this, I love doing this, but I can't financially keep doing this because I have other financial obligations. I gotta work. I got bills. I got kids. I got whatever. So on the outside looking in, people think that the social media stuff is fun. Oh, you're popular. You went viral. And that's cool. But and behind the scenes, there's a lot of people who are. They still got life is still there. Social media is kind of like a bubble. Social media is kind of like it's fun. It's like smoke and mirrors, but no one really realizes that it's real. It's still real life after that, or it's still real life before and after social media. So you still got. You still have, like for example, I just watched this interview. This is kind of almost a tangent, but maybe not. I watched a Fabulous interview yesterday, and he said that Beyonce checked him on something that he said in the rap, in the freestyle. This is years ago. This is some years ago. He said something like, why be what's a Solange to a Beyonce or something like that? Why did you? If you could have Beyonce, why would you take a Solange? That was in a rap battle, not a battle, but a rap freestyle. And he said it just out of he knows the two women, but they're not friends. He knows of them, and he meant nothing of it. It was just a slick bar to say in a rap freestyle. But he's fabulous. You know what I'm saying? So one day he ran into Beyonce and she pulled him to the side and gracefully checked him. And that was it was a bar that bigged up Beyonce, made her feel good. It was supposed to make her feel like she's a woman, like she's Beyonce. But she had a little sister, and she was like, "That's my sister. She's a person." And just imagine being Solange. And Solange doing the thing. Now, Solange, to me, I think is an established artist, and she has a great career. But she's still Solange, this little sister of Beyonce.
Right.
And she's been that way since Beyonce was 17 when she got famous. Solange was probably 12, 13. So she's been living in her shadow subconsciously. No one wants to. Beyonce didn't put her in her shadow. Beyonce's Beyonce. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? So it carried a lot of weight. Fabulous didn't realize how much that could hurt somebody. It's a dope line. It's a funny line, and we all get it. But just imagine how when it's all said and done, Solange is a person, and Beyonce is a person, and she probably feels some type of way her whole life because she's Beyonce's little sister. So that's one little example. But it was just in social media carried that could affect her life forever.
Mm.
One line can affect someone's life forever because it can go viral, and once it's in the internet, it's there. You know what I'm saying? Good or bad. Some people are just famous for one thing, but it hit the internet. Some people want to be famous for one thing, but the social media can really tear you down. It can really build you up, and it depends on how you utilize it and how you use it as a tool and not as a weapon. So it's just a so going back to your original question about why do I give back because social media could ruin your confidence. It can help build your confidence too. It can do a lot of things that's not as positive as you think. So social media is a great thing, and also it could be a bad thing as well. It depends on what side of the fence you're on. Sometimes it's not even on purpose. You might not be able to. Somebody can troll you and say something bad about you, and they got such a big following that it can mess you up. So going back to the whole G Wayne thing, along with other people that I know G Wayne is a super talented dude, man. I'm a fan of his talent. I've been knowing him for some years, and if I got wind that he kind of slowed down or wasn't posting as much, he's just feeling like maybe something else is going to be in his plans. In my mind, I'm like, no, your plans is this, bro. This is what you're supposed to do. Now, if you say, hey, I don't want to do this no more because I feel out of love with it, and I want to do something else now. I want to become a firefighter. Okay, cool. Well go hit firefighter. I say that because I got a lot of homies that I went to school with that are firefighters, and they love it.
Okay.
It's a great job, but
but the thing about G Wayne, what he said in interviews that you was there before he even posted. Like when he first did the skits with you, that probably was his first time getting into content creation. So you was helping him before he was G Wayne.
Yeah.
Right.
And
as far as the content creation. But you went out of your way to help him before he was, you seen the spark in him. But my real question is that, you do that for the people that I've interviewed, you do that for people behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think a lot of people on social media, they lose that, they lose that to help people that is not on their level, So I think that's a
this is what I always think about. Now I feel I'm blessed that I've had this success so far, and this is stepping stone. I'm still in stepping stone mode. I still got other things to accomplish, and I still got other heights, but I'm blessed to be in position. But I remember when I wasn't. I remember when no one knew who Bigg Jah was. You know what I'm saying? My IG handle was a whole different name and everything. I was just trying to spark something, and I didn't really have anybody that was around to say, "Nah, keep doing it, bro. You're on the right track. Keep doing it." I mean, I had a couple friends that loved me, but that weren't in this, And sometimes, like I said, it's daunting. It's something that you don't want to keep doing, or you don't feel like you can. Some people feel like it's too late. Some people feel like, oh, he or she is already arrived. They already got their followers. So the first thing they say around you is, "Hey man, I love what you got doing. I love what you got going." And you respond like, "That's what's up, man. Well, what's your page? I mean, what you doing?" He's like, "I don't really got that many followers, bro." As if that's supposed to deter me, or they breaking it down to me like, "Bro, I'm on your level, so you probably not gonna worry about me." Followers don't mean nothing. Talent is first. Talent to me is first. G Wayne was super talented, so I thought he had a lot of he was strong. He was a strong performer. So regardless if he had a lot of followers or not, it didn't matter, because when I had a lot of followers or when I didn't have a lot of followers, I paid attention to the people who were around me. Same thing now. Like, everybody want to be around you. Everybody want to be in your videos. Everybody want to jump on your wagon or your wave. But those who were around me when I didn't have much, when I didn't have this name, I didn't have this brand really cracking like that, those are the ones I pay attention to. G Wayne was around since its beginning. If I go back even further, Barry, we were stand-up comics, and he found out we knew each other for some time, but we knew each other through comedy, and I think the word got around that I actually had a camera and I was filming stuff, and I was directing sketches for people and stuff like that. People was hiring me for $15 an hour to shoot their sketch, man, or for free. I started off for free. And he saw my work, or he heard that my work is good. And so even though we knew each other, but we didn't know each other in that realm, in the film making realm. So he called me one day. One day I was at home. He called me like around 9, 10 o'clock at night and was like, "What's up, man? I got the script. And I heard your stuff is dope. I heard you're a good director, bro. I want to hire you to direct my film. I got a short film. I want to read, and if you down some time, bro, I would love to hire you to direct it." And even though we were already friends then, we were more like friendly associates then. We became friends during that process of directing his film. And basically, when someone does that, they bring you on to direct your film too. It becomes your film as well. He was willing to share that with me, and it was a good experience. I think we had one slight baby small argument during that whole process, but that was 9 years ago. That was 9 years ago when he did that, and we're like brothers now because of those type of things. I saw a man working hard for a vision that he had, and he knew me, but not as well. I wasn't one of his closest friends back then, but he saw that I had work, I had talent, and he basically, I wouldn't say reached back, we were both on the same level in the sense, but he knew that he needed a team to grow with, and I appreciated that he saw the talent in me and saw that my personality, because you got to have the right personality to work together, build something. Yeah. And so we worked together, man. And so I love that. I love filmmaking. I love entertainment. And when I see people who have the great personalities that I can mesh with, I want to work with them. Even working with them could be like this. Or even if I don't work with them, I just want to see them grow. I want to see them get to wherever they want to be, because it feels good when you put the work in and you get the results. So I felt that he had the ability to do that. So when I saw him, I encouraged him every time, bro, you need to do this. They asked him, you can make some money doing it, bro. You just got to stay focused, stay aggressive to work towards this, and you got to keep shooting. Got to keep shooting until something happens. That's my thought was to keep shooting until something happens financially, something happens brand wise. Because when you go viral and people start paying attention, you don't have to have a brand, but it's good to have a brand, because that's what people attach themselves to. Nike, Mountain Dew, Sprite, Louis Vuitton, Gucci. People just want to have a Gucci belt because it sounds good. Everyone else saying it. You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody to look at me and think of me as a brand, to where even if they don't know my name, they know To The Max. You know what I'm saying? So Only Believe is Barry Brewer. To The Max is Bigg Jah. You know what I'm saying? You want your. Sometimes in the perfect world, I'm sure he would want Only Believe to be much bigger than the name Barry Brewer.
Oh yes,
because that brand, and it says something. To The Max is do everything to the max. Work your hardest. Nike says just do it. Sprite says obey your thirst. Mountain Dew says do. Bigg Jah says To The Max. Barry Brewer says Only Believe. And so that's what it is. So. Yeah, man, it's just important for me to give back, because I wish, and I think I had it too. In some way, somebody gave back to me. You know what I'm saying? And you got to pay it forward, bro.
For sure.
So when you had that dispute with Barry back then, did you turn to Tiberius?
Nah, it wouldn't work. Barry don't really work well with it don't go over the way you think. When you're a sizey dude, you're a large guy. Pause on both those statements. You gotta
calm down, right?
Dudes, the average person is small, is bigger, is afraid of the bigger person. That's just the the Debo or the Hulk Hogan, or if you see a guy that's bigger than you see him crumble. and that's usually how it rolls with Barry, as it shouldn't. It don't matter how big you are, it don't matter how much bigger and stronger you might be to somebody. If you got a disagreement, and I firmly believe I'm right in this situation, you can't scare me away from my opinion, or you can't scare me away from my decision. Barry ain't one of them dudes. That's one of the reasons why I love him. He's like, you know, how you got a gentle giant.
Yeah,
I'm a gentle giant. I'm a nice guy, but I could be that guy. Barry was one of the most positive dudes I've seen. Barry like talks, not literally talk someone off the edge, but talk somebody off the ledge of just being upset about something. Hey man, hey sweetheart, hey beautiful, hey, he's that. You know what I'm saying? He's such a positive dude, but also if you got smoke, he got smoke for you too. I see him switch that quickness with the quickness. So yeah, man. Now our argument was it was artistic.
It was artistic.
It was artistic. It was no physical. It was no attitude or personality flaws our personality quirks that kind of had us arguing. It was more like a choice artistically in the movie that we had two different opinions on. So but then after a while, that came and went within 2-3 minutes. It was so small.
And if I could say this, it's because of the comedic genius that he is, right? We're both comedians, and it's kind of like you got Picasso and who's another famous painter, Ja?
Picasso and Rembrandt?
Van Gogh.
Yeah,
it's like them collaborating on a canvas. The canvas blank, and they both brilliant. Like you can go either way. It's gonna be great either way. You know what I'm saying? So it's somebody just like, all right, it's gonna be great either way. So whoever doesn't really matter. So it's like that. And it was learning. It was such a learning curve for me working with him. Like, you know, and I say this, and John, thanks for coming, bro. I just love that people love people, right? Like, oh no, this is about, like, for me, it's about building. And I think the sad part in our community is that we don't work enough together, that everybody needs to be the man. And it's like, I can be the man next to everybody that's the man. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think the Kings of Comedy was a great example of that. Obviously, people have their favorites. And you know, coming from Chicago, I thought everybody's favorite was Bernie. But as I've moved across the country, I hear people's favorite is Cedric. I hear people's favorite is Steve. You know what I mean? I hear even some people favorite is DL. You know what I'm saying? And so you start to see, and you be so confused. But the truth is, everybody like who they like. But the thing is, what makes it so special is that they was together and they worked together. And it wasn't no ego trip. It was like, I can never be Ja, ever. No matter how much I lift weights and I can try to sit in the sun, get a little more darker like he is, or shake my head. I can never be him, right? And that's okay. Just be the best version of you, and y'all can stand next to each other and be something great together. And so I was just grateful for him. I remember I always tell him this, he probably get tired of me hearing it. Me and Josh sat in his room in Hawthorne, right down the street from the DMV in Hawthorne, right off of El Segundo. I never forget, man. And we were talking about Keenan Ivory Wayans and Robert Townsend. We tried to go when we was on tour to see him. Josh, you got to go, right? And here
I did.
I
went to the you talking about the Robert Townsend movie?
The Robert Townsend movie. And
I got to hear him talk. Yeah.
And he talked about Keenan and all of that. But anyway, I'm saying that to say about working together. You was talking about giving back, bro. And giving back is special. And it's just about doing, like, our life here is short. And outside of our talent and our gifts, when you leave here, what did you do to help somebody's life? And I think we both keep that in mind, you know, because like I said, I called him when he was killing on social media. He was in the driver's seat. I was slow on the social media. So I hit him up. I said, and I wasn't jumping on people's numbers. I was jumping to people I respected their art. And I felt like their personality, because I could have called some other people, but I didn't like who they were personally. But because I was just about working with somebody I thought was legit. Ja was the only person I called. And I say that all the time, bro. And he's like, oh, for sure. I got you. And he didn't just plug me in everywhere. He had something specific. He's like, it wasn't until something specific came. He's like, all right, this for you. And that's what I always tell you, Ja, I think you have a gift in too. Casting, seeing people beyond where they are. I think you have that. You know, I call it the Quincy Jones gift.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? I don't think many people have that, but they can see something special, whether it be your art form or something else, right?
Right.
You know, me and him was on tour and we was debating about rappers, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You remember that conversation?
Yeah, I do. And that's the argument that got cut out, but it got a lot of passion. It was like, cause after that we got to our hotels, or we got to the next city. We was going grabbing something to eat.
We brothers.
Yeah, of
we
course,
real brothers. Like brothers gonna get into it all day, but at the end of the day, it's love. It's like, all right, like y'all get up, y'all dust yourself off. Be like, all right, what we going to eat? It's like,
we going to get scripts. What we doing? We gonna go eat?
Yeah, we gonna go to wings. Get over your feelings, Barry. Eat these wings. Remember in Houston?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had an issue with the lady. It wasn't with you, but I had man. So it's well, I got the story. Ask your questions. I'm sorry.
Speaking of music and hip hop, what do you think about Biggie Smalls? Obviously, Biggie Smalls is 20 times better than Tupac, right? But when you talk about Biggie Smalls,
you can't say that. You can't. That's the argument. You can't say that to Ja. Ja is from the West Coast.
I know. He about to click off.
I'm fair most of the time. I'm always fair, but sometimes I can be a little biased. But if I'm biased, I'll say ahead of time, I can't get into that conversation because I am biased. Now, and Biggie better than Pac. I mean, in certain ways, yeah. On the mic,
I just never heard. I never heard.
He never said that. Hold on, he's never said that. I have to give him some credit. I've never heard him give him credit, and I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, John. That Biggie has some things that Pac doesn't have, and then vice versa. And I agree, because I think when it comes to content and lyrical and metaphors and stories, I don't think Biggie can see Pac there at all. I think the substance of what Pac has, I think he has that. Biggie, to me, flavor and some of his metaphors, and it's really his flavor. Like, it's his vibe, it's his flow. It's just special. And I think that we compare them because they were in the same time. You know what I mean? Because me and John, I think we were talking about, I was saying Tupac's flow was like a lot of other people's flow as it relates to his cadence. And that's what I was saying. But Biggie's unique in that way. But you can't, but Pac got records, like his records and his content and his substance and his his stories. You know what I mean? And his hits.
Right. Yeah, I think they're both amazing. And it makes sense if you're from New York or from the East Coast, you got to say Biggie's the best of all time. I mean, you don't have to, but I'm saying it makes sense. When I hear someone say that, I get it. And he is. I think you got to get to the point to where, whether it's comedy, acting, rapping, singing, in my opinion, there's no number one. There's always one of the ones.
Yeah.
One of those ones. You know what I'm saying?
That came before them, right?
It is to be one of the greats. Or be someone's favorite. You know what I'm saying? I could say, think of it like in the some people say Jay-Z is the best of all time. Some people say
Lil Wayne
is the best of all time. Some people say E40 is their favorite rapper because E40 has a whole region of the country that people just think he's number one. You know, some people would have said that Mac Dre, God rest his soul, was one of the best rappers ever. He's one of the, in the Bay Area, Mac Dre is royalty. And in the Bay Area, you got the Too Shorts, the E40s, the Mac Dre's. Those three guys are the best guys that ever came out of that city, out of that region. You know, some people think that Rakim is the best from New York. Some people think that Biggie's the best from New York. See what I'm saying? Some people think that Jay-Z or Big L. If I'm Big L, I'm okay with people think, nah. Some people think that Biggie is cool, Jay-Z cool, 50, yeah, but Big L was the best guy. You know what I'm saying? Some people think Kumo D is. You know what I'm saying? So those eras of Dr. J at some point was the best ever. You know what I'm saying? Will Chamberlain is the best ever. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best ever. Kobe, LeBron. No one's thinking that as great as D Wade is, no one's saying D Wade is the number one guy ever. They mean he's top 3 in his era. You know what I'm saying? And some people think that it's Kobe, LeBron. Now Steph has just gotten to that. People think is Steph the best? I don't think Steph's the best, but I think he's amazing now. And I get it why he's done so much in these last 6-7 years that he cemented himself as one of the ones.
One of the ones.
So,
I like that.
One of those ones, Blast. Shout out to Blast, man. The rapper Blast. I mean, the artist Blast, because he's bigger. He's more than just a rapper. But the artist Blast got a song called "One of Them Ones," and that goes back to what Barry was saying is Steve Harvey, D.L. Hooghly, Bernie Mac, and Cedric the Entertainer are one of those ones. Those four guys are the kings of comedy because those four guys have number one roster spots on some people's list. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z's number one, Biggie's number one, Tupac is number one.
On somebody's list for sure.
On someone's list. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but like Fabulous is a great rapper. I think he's probably a top 20, top 10 guy in the history of hip hop. He could be on some. I can see Fabulous slipping into someone's top 10.
Yeah.
Maybe 8, 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? But Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, those guys are Eminem is one of those ones. You know what I'm saying? You work your way up to be. Is it Richard Pryor? Or is it Fred? Or is it Red Fox? Or is it Lenny Bruce? Or is it, you know what I'm saying? Or is it Dave Chappelle now? He's in it. 10 years ago, before the Chappelle show, you know what I'm saying? He was a dope comic that people liked his show. That show helped his career as a comic. And then is he the best rapper? Is he the best comedian of his era, or is it Patrice O'Neal? You know what I'm saying? But people put those people in those conversations because they've made it to one of those ones. So it's hard for me to say now who's best, Biggie or Nas.
Oh, it's not hard for me. Biggie. Biggie, man.
Yeah.
And that's your one. And that's your one.
He's your one.
But listen, that's not, you gotta understand, right? That's not my one. That is historically it's like it's like your birth certificate. You know who you're born from, right? It's fact. It's like engraved. But listen, right?
Can I say something against that though?
Yeah.
Nas could never compete with Biggie, not because of rap or music related. It's because of Biggie's journey, his life and death, and the way he went out and where he was in his career. Like it's like the LeBron Michael Jordan factor. You're not really competing against the talent of the person. You're competing against the time that they were hot, which you can never really. And that's why the fact of him being cemented in history as that one has more to do with the timing and the journey that happened around him, more so than just his talent alone. Because truth be told, no matter how talented you are, there will be more to come and be better than you just as time go along because of metaphors and wisdom and information that we all evolve as people.
And I meant to say not Biggie or Nas. I meant to say Jay-Z or Nas. Because I remember when I was in college, that was the biggest thing. I was team Jay-Z, and there were people who were team Nas. Who's better, Jay-Z or Nas? Jay-Z or Nas? And then Jay-Z, nigga, all day, Vito. Nas was nice, and I was a fan of Nas first. I was a fan of Nas in '94. I became a fan of Jay in '96.
Jay-Z's a big fan of Nas.
Yeah, Nas is one of the ones.
I didn't like that Jay-Z slept with Big Mom.
To some people, they were like, Biggie is
baby what?
Of course.
Jay-Z slept with Nas' baby mother. Huh? I didn't like that, man.
Jay-Z slept with Nas' baby mama. You knew Nas' that, John? Mother.
Yeah. Hold on, real quick. Are you all from New York, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so she did
a Vlad interview too. Yeah, she slept with Jay-Z. So when he made that,
he did it on purpose, or it just was by chance that they connected.
Nah, you do it on purpose. I mean, because
this is after Nas was with her.
Yeah, after he had a child. But listen, right, this is my point about Biggie Smalls and Tupac, right? So I think when Tupac passed away, he was net worth about 60 million, right? When Biggie Smalls died, his net worth was only 10 million. 24 years later, which is today, 25 years later, which is 2021, Tupac net worth is only $200,000. Wow. Biggie Smalls net worth is 160 million. His son has 20 million. And his daughter has 20 million. You know, if you look on the internet, they probably have a little bit more than that. So I think, and there's no argument. I think Tupac is more known than Jesus in some other countries, right? Everyone knows Tupac, but they probably don't know too much about Biggie Smalls. So I just really think it's interesting. The things that we're doing is like, do you want to be famous or do you want a legacy? You could probably have both, but which one would you want, right? So that was really my point about the Biggie Smalls and Tupac. Obviously, Tupac is like probably 10 times more popular than Biggie. No matter how much I like him, Tupac, you go any country and you mention Tupac, they still worship him in a sense. Everyone
Wow.
talks about Tupac, but the
I think that's
network,
interesting. Yeah, I
24
think that's
years
interesting.
later, yeah, man, his
I
son
thought
got
their
20 million.
careers are really kind of cemented together in my mind, I would think, but I'm
Yeah.
not. I wouldn't consider
would say
myself a
this.
hip hop head either.
I would think I definitely I hear the numbers. I don't know if I believe that his net worth is 200,000. Nah, that might
In
be
comparison to
related.
Biggie, that just really
that has nothing to do with what, because Biggie still might be worth more than Tupac, maybe, but I don't think
Mismanagement.
The same reason why, like,
so this is about the money. So you're saying this has a lot to do with the people that was managing their estate after the fact. So that's what you're speaking to. Okay. So he's talking about the people that. Okay. So yeah, that matters. If
Tupac should
somebody
be a
was
lot more. That's part of the reason why they started to do deals with something about, I think, on one of the days where they were saying that they was doing like the rainbow flag of Tupac and stuff like that. They had to do different deals because of financial, So I think it's really interesting how a lot of the young people are really worried about being on camera, but they're not trying to understand that you're doing music, understand the business. Yeah. Not just how to make money to go buy a chain. Like, how can you, like what you're doing right now, Ja, right? And Barry, how can that pass on? Like, can your children take your business and continue?
Right.
Man,
I remember going to college and one of my teammates, his name is Byron Store. And I didn't know this, but he's part of the company, the bus company called Store, Store. That bus company.
Yeah.
That's his family.
Wow.
And yeah, and he wanted to play football in college and go to the NFL. His family wanted him to go along with the other 25 grandchildren, go part of the company, a multi-million-dollar company. And he was like, well, let me go to college first, and let me do what I want to do first. And then if I don't make it to the NFL, then I'll come back and work for the company. But that's not my goal. My goal is to do my own stuff. And they let him do it. They said, yeah, but there's a profession here waiting for you. That generational wealth, man. And so I'm sure he has kids by now. I haven't talked to him in years, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's married with children and probably having these are great grandchildren now. So that's the goal, is to build generational wealth. A lot of people are so used to, like, even the older people in our own generation. Some of them still have that little kid mentality where they want to be fresh for the gram. They want to flex for the gram, and they're more busy. They're more invested in being famous than creating an opportunity for themselves and the people behind them. And so, like, I know people who you go viral on the internet. You should try to find out how you got viral and how to recreate that and benefit from it financially, to where it can provide for you and the people behind you, your children that you're going to leave behind when you pass.
I agree.
And people say, "Oh man, I might be thinking too deep." Oh yeah, but I'm thinking, like, is all the people that we admire, for the most part, the Magic Johnsons, LeBrons, Michael Jordans, the 50 Cents. 50 Cent is a genius, man.
Yeah.
I don't know him personally.
He's such a genius.
A person that come from where he came from, and to, like, spread his name, his legacy, and like, those guys are just people that I admire. The Nipsey Hussle's, rest his soul, that was literally buying up his whole neighborhood and creating jobs for everybody. You know what I'm saying? For as many people as he could. You know what I'm saying? He passed at 33. Who knows? He would have been, what, 37 by now? 35, 36. Like, those people got it. Those people understand it's bigger than just being famous. Let's try to create a world that people can flourish in as well. Like, that's giving back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's important to me to do that. It's important for me because famous cool, but I rather, like you said, you want the fame, or you want the
legacy, man.
Property, the legacy. You want the brand to live forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's somebody, the guy that made Nike. Some people don't even know his name. They know Nike.
That's facts. They know that brand.
And he's fine with that.
You've seen it.
Have y'all seen the movie House of Gucci yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
That was a good movie, man.
Where's that? On Netflix?
No, it's just in the theater.
Oh, really? House of
Yeah,
Gucci. Okay, I'm gonna have to
it
check
just
that
came
out.
out like maybe 2 weeks ago. We can have Lady Gaga's in it.
Oh, I gotta see that. I do
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
say this, man, because it's important to have these discussions, and I think the reason why people are more uh, invested, our culture, it's a cultural ignorance that we've had. You know what I'm saying? Growing sometimes when people don't have anything and we make having Jordans, having change, having money, like that's what's glorified. So the kids that don't have people like, I would say, even this group of men right here around them to say, hey, this is what's important. As I keep telling my son, as he's seeing the Jordans and the flavor and the style, I'm like, none of that matters if you don't have substance and if you ain't trying to be effective with ultimately what you want to do. Right? Like paying a amount of Jordans, but you can buy a whole thing of clothes that'll last you. Like trying to make him understand the value of money and why money and what money is simply a tool. And tool is about building. So you got to be strategic in how you move. And then when it comes to where you looking at something famous or legacy, really understanding what legacy is. Also, I think there's a level of maturity that comes with somebody who desires to leave a legacy, right? Somebody to desire to leave something beyond their own life. I think it takes a level of maturity to understand that and to have a desire to want to do that. You know what I mean? To like you said, Jada, like pull everybody. Let me do this to not just help myself, but to pull everybody along with me, right? And then if and when I leave, it can live on beyond me. The bus company, like whoever started that, now that your classmate or your running mate in football in school can now be blessed because his great grandfather, grandmother put that in place. You know what I mean? So
right.
I just think it's a level of information and wisdom that needs to be engulfed in our culture, because I think at some point, and I would say, and not to get deep, but that segregation where the people from the poor people, the poor black people and the black people that was doing well were separated from the communities, that ignorant or that poor community then lacked the information to understand how I get from here to the successful people. Because at one point, the doctors, the lawyers was engulfed in the community with the poor kids that may not have those people to give them the information and wisdom that then brought them out of that poverty mentality to get to a better place. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the issue. And I think that's our one of our should be one of our things as black men to empower and to educate all of the people we can that would be willing to listen, to help change that culture inside of us, to have like, yeah, I just want to get on. I want to shine. I just want to stunt. I just want to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, 50
Yeah.
Cent is like what you saying he's doing. Oh my God, bro. Like on the behind the scenes, like people don't understand.
I don't understand. He's like 10 different people. I mean, there's no way this one person is able to accomplish that much in 24 hours, all these different ideas. His hands in now, we're just hearing about the stuff. If you look him up, there's a lot of stuff he's involved in
We
that
don't
we don't
know.
hear. It's impossible for someone, like one human being. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So one thing I
his
want to touch
team
about
has to
that is
be
that
His
extensive.
team, job,
His
creating
team,
yourself,
his
hiring the people
team.
that's invested and it building so you sleep, things are still moving.
because me and Barry, I'm better now, but I would say about a year ago, I all the stuff I've done, you've seen on TV. I mean, on the internet, I've written myself. Outside of like an actor like a Barry coming and bringing his own flavor and adding his own dialogue just to a lot of the sketches that we've shot together. For the most part, I wrote everything. It's out of there's a place for the people who bring their own stuff. Barry's one of them. You can give Barry an idea of what you want and the character he's playing, and then Barry within minutes is going to be able to perform and give you a whole world of who this guy is, that character that he's playing, because he's just that good. Most of the time, I'm giving people the bars. I'm telling people what to say, and I'm writing for them ahead of time. And now I'm getting to a point where I know I can't do that. I can't write everything. I got a movie I was supposed to have written 2 years ago, and it's been written at a slow pace because I'm doing so many other different things. I still got to come back and write this film, and I don't want anybody else to write it because they can't write my voice. I don't even trust anybody to write my voice, and I'm now getting to the point where I know in order for me to flourish
you
and
gotta
move, I got to delegate other things like writing certain things for me, for my brand to other people. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a while to get to that. I knew even 2 years ago, I knew that I needed to, but I didn't want to. I couldn't bring myself to get somebody else to write certain things for me because I've been so used to doing everything myself. I just now, a year ago, allowed someone to start editing for me. You know, because before that, I had to edit everything. I shot it, I got to edit it because I don't trust nobody to make the cuts that I was going to make and edit in the pace and the style that I would edit in. Now I'm doing that now. I found a few people that have that talent, or I have that trust in them that they can do it. And building the team is important. Just like going back to the G Wayne situation real quick, like and us talking about Robert Townsend and Keenan Ivory Wayans. Keenan Ivory Wayans is amazing. You know how many careers he helped blossom and helped start, and he's in the background. As big as I am now, and as I'm in the front, I'm the face of my brand. I see people who are so talented. It doesn't matter. They can. Who knows? 10 years from now, G Wayne might end up being the Dave Chappelle. He might end up being the Eddie Murphy, and I'll be the Keenan Ivory Wayans. I'm cool with that. You know. So it's never about my ego. My everyone has an ego, but my ego is so big. I have a big ego. Ego is so big that I don't want to have an ego, if that makes sense. Ego to me is when you ran by your ego, I think that's a weakness. I gotta be the man. I gotta let everyone see that I did this. I'm the man. No, bro. That's the ego. And my ego is too big to I think I don't even want people to see me behave that way. I don't even want to see myself feel that way. Like I have to be the man. I gotta be in control of every single thing. That's whack to me. So I see someone like G Wayne. I'm like, bro, you have to get this talent out. You got to keep pushing. In the long run, it's gonna make you feel much better and make you feel much more accomplished. So Keenan Ivory Wayne put on Dave Chappelle. I'm not Dave Chappelle. The Tommy Davidson, Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, his own little brother, his own little brothers, like, and their names are bigger than his name is now. It seems like so.
Martin Lawrence put on a lot of people. Martin Lawrence put on a lot of people as well.
Martin Lawrence,
Martin Lawrence, yeah, man. Martin Lawrence used to have his own like comedy show, and Chris Tucker. We got introduced to Chris Tucker. This is before Friday. Martin Lawrence used to bring on a lot of people. A lot of people, man.
Yeah.
That was hosted by his own funds, you know. So he's in the back. Martin Lawrence is in the background for a lot of things, but also want to touch on, you know, as you're building your brand, if you don't take building your brand serious, you get caught with. Look at Aunt Jemima, right? Aunt Jemima was taken off of the pancake box, and now the niece, not the niece, great niece, like several great niece, is not getting royalties anymore for the image of Aunt Jemima. Now I think it's called Pearl Mailing or something like that. The original name of the company.
They didn't own the visual.
Paperwork is not right, man. And you know who removed her? Black people complained that it's part of slavery. You know what I'm saying? So I think they removed Uncle Ben too. Poor Ben, man. But that's what happens when you don't have your business together. You know, you're just doing these comedy skits and you're doing these interviews and you don't, and there's no corporation.
That goes back to education. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like when you look at people's success, like even MC Hammer and people that's amounted to a lot of money, Mike Tyson, like we've gotten a lot of money, but we're not educated to know, because the people who are successful and financially stable, who's gotten there, didn't reach back or didn't try to help the culture to be educated on how you move in business. I mean, that's the thing. I remember Jah telling me as I first started doing sketches, he was like, B, you need to do this, man. You could be making money. I'm like, okay. And then Minx showed me like, hey, I just made 10 grand. I remember we was in the car, Jah. I don't know if you remember. I don't know what we was going. Maybe you were driving. I was in the front and Minx in the back. But I remember him showing me. It was a sketch he did with Nate, and he made 10. Maybe the one where we talk about him branding his hair. I think it was that one. We all was in it, but he's like, he made $10,000. And this is just a small. This ain't the biggest education, but it's been so successful. Me taking advice, but I had to see it to believe it, because Jah was telling me. Jah wasn't showing me his money, but he was like looking at me like, hey, you can really do well.
You my eyebrows up. You do that, hey.
You're looking at it like, hey, you could really get your money up. And so I say, but somebody really telling people that, you know, and I think that really has a lot to do with the business side. Like, who knew, right? Who knew that you need to do, like, even as I'm still learning business and learning stuff, Like, I'm like, I wouldn't know to do this if somebody didn't tell us. Like, it's just so much in it. And and the people that I think have this information, I don't want to say they're obligated to, but I mean, if they care about legacy, if they care about helping people, it's important to educate. And sometimes I think it's the crab in the barrel mentality that when they make it, they kind of want to be the only one up there. So they
man.
don't
That's crazy.
share. They don't share. People don't
Yeah.
share. People don't tell you how they got it. You ever ask somebody, like, man, that's a nice, where you get that from? Not, I mean, to me, I'm like, bro, you can't wear it like me. Like, it's cool if you want to. Like, I don't know, man. I just think that mentality, and I think it's really engulfed in our culture, and I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? Because we put a position, like, you present a scenario like, hey, man, they took the name off, and the great grandkids not getting their money. My mindset say, why is that the case? Why didn't they know better? Why didn't they do paperwork right? Was it just because they were just stupid? No, it was because they didn't know. Because I know that those people that built those brands, if hadn't they known this and knew how things work, they would have did what they needed to do for things to be in place. So that our kids in the next Ancient Mama type of brand or Uncle Ben of the world, that we don't continue this cycle, man, that we help the next people that's watching your podcast and your visuals, that, man, they're like, you right, man, let me see, I am doing a business. Let me go see what copyrights look like. Let me go see what patents look like. Let me see what, because I got a concept. I'm making some soap, and or I'm creating this thing or that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like understanding that.
Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you, because I know you about to go, right?
I mean, you're chilling, man. You're chilling.
Okay.
All right. So Bigg Jah, let me ask you, right? So, who will win in the fight, Tiberius or Dragonfly Jones?
Ooh.
Tiberius, obviously.
Hey, Tiberius is mopping Dragonfly. Let me tell you why, though.
He gonna super mop him.
Unhand me, feckums. Dragonfly Jones. Just for the, I don't know if Barry told you this, but this is going back to being who you are and knowing who you are and working within the understanding of who you are. Martin is my favorite sitcom of all time, and he's one of the reasons why him as a comedian and his show is one of the reasons why I even wanted to entertain. The first time I came across the idea of a comedian was listening to Eddie Murphy's Delirious tape, the cassette tape, Delirious. I was 11 years old, and I was like, I want to do this. I want to be able to be funny and make people laugh and make money doing it. And I was like 11 years old. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to act. I wanted to play football, but I wanted to play football and play in the NFL, and I wanted to be an actor and a comedian and all that. So fast forward to this question you just asked me about Dragonfly Jones. Dragonfly Jones getting mopped. The better question is, who will win in the head of fade, Tiberius or Kenji? You know what I'm saying? Because Kenji was beating the brakes off of Dragonfly all the time. So Tiberius ain't losing to no Dragonfly Jones. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Absolutely not. Tiberius got a better he might have some trouble with Kenji though.
What about Debo versus Tiberius?
Once again, I gotta give Tiberius the nod because Craig mopped Debo.
That's true. He hit him with a brick.
Tiberius undefeated. Tiberius undefeated right now, and Debo might have been undefeated up until '96, where Ice Cube whooped his ass.
Was Tiberius your first character?
Tiberius was my first. All right, so my first character. I've been doing this for so long, but like I would say, I started really cracking with the content, the social media content on a daily basis, weekly basis in 2017. But I've been doing sketches since 2010, and even before that, I was doing sketches with my homeboys in high school doing this. You know what I'm saying? And I got a video online right now that says 2000 or 2001, where the timestamps is 2001. And I was like 19.
Crazy. I graduated in 2001 from high school.
You know what I'm saying? And I was doing. I got a sketch that I did. It's a parody it's a parody from a "Don't Be a Menace" scene. Don't be a menace while drinking your gin and juice in the hood. I did a parody. I did a reenactment of one of those scenes in 2001. So I've been doing it for so long. So, however, my first character it's not even Tiberius. My first hood character, Droopy Loke. Droopy Loke.
Say it again.
His name is Droopy Loke.
Droopy Loke.
You know what I'm saying? That's the name of his character, and he's very similar to Tiberius. It's like if you see the old sketches, that guy, I dressed just like Tiberius, right? I got the Dickie suit on and everything, but this is back in this is 10 years ago. Well, I shot this sketch. I had to carry. I did a sketch, Barry, where Tyree was in it too. Tyree played like a 13-year-old girl.
Y'all was at the house. I saw that one.
Yeah.
I saw
that's
that. That's
old as hell. That's before Tiberius. That's back
you
in
was
maybe
super skinny. You was like super skinny.
I wasn't skinny. I was still sizey though. You know what I'm
saying? You were skinny compared to how big you are now.
Right. But
and you had the long little
I had a beard. I might have had a beard. I can't remember.
You had a little line thing?
I might have. This is the year I was like in my late 20s, maybe early 30s, maybe 30 years old, 29, something like that.
And it was a random 30. Guy in it with y'all in the scene or something.
Alex Schultz, he's a comedian. He's a stand-up comic.
Wow.
So I use him. I used him as the Predator. It was a To Catch a Predator parody.
That's right. I saw that. It was like
played, instead of was it Jim Henson? Is that his name? Is that the guy's name? The guy that comes out with the little,
John Henson. I know you're talking about that. Yeah, the guy that comes out, right?
Hanson. Yeah, the white guy that comes out, he comes out from behind the curtains, or
it's like, why don't you have a seat? Let's talk.
Yeah, have a seat. Let's talk. Your name is 17, right? And you said on March 19th that I came out as him, but I came out as a guy named Droopy Loke. And if you see my outfit, I'm dressed just like Tiberius. It's the same khaki suit that I had back then that I used later on as Tiberius. So that's my first character. But it didn't even do nothing. I thought it was gonna be so funny and so clever. It's gonna break the internet. It didn't do nothing. I think the comedians in my circle in the LA comedian, LA comic world saw it, thought it was funny, but it didn't go viral. I put it on YouTube and it didn't do nothing much. But fast forward to years later, Tiberius is probably my first character that blew me up, especially when I shot that sketch. I put that Tiberius sketch out, that first one, and it went viral and it hit like 1 million in 3 days. Wow. And I had never experienced nothing like that. And I was always thinking one day something's gonna catch. That one day came finally in March of 2017, and it went viral. And then that's when people shared it. A couple Snoop Dogg shared it. A couple Ludacris shared it and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is blowing up. Exhibit saw it and everything. But then that's my first character. So to answer your question, technically no, but career-wise, that would be my first character. And then I knew that I had to change something up, or else everybody's going to just see me as Tiberius, see me as Debo. You know what I'm saying? And I know that in order for me to, I think, expand my brand and not just be a
big guy.
It's not just Urkel. You know what I'm saying? It took it. He hasn't cleared that yet, unfortunately. But the thing is, Urkel's still Jaleel White is still young enough to
work
himself and finally and work his way out of that stigma of just being Urkel. People see him, they see Urkel only. Remember Doogie Howser? Y'all remember that show?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And every time for years that he was just Doogie Howser, even when the show was over. But I think he's done enough in How I Met Your Mother. He did so many other movies and film TV shows that he's now somebody else. Day, Chris Tucker isn't Smokey no more.
Yeah, he's way past that.
Huh?
He's way past that, yeah.
He's way past that. So I just saw this video recently where Duncan, what's his name? Braxton Hardenbrig from Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't lived that down. He's still Braxton.
And he's mad about that too, right?
He talks about that. That's a problem for him, and as it should be. I think Urkel kind of stifled Jaleel White's his career because he did such a great job. But I think Jaleel White is so much more than Urkel. Steve Urkel. He's a talented.
I think also too, he's not. I don't think he's not active. He's not active.
Well, I hear from. I know people who know him personally, and I think he's producing more now, but
writing too, right? He writes a little bit too, I think.
Yeah,
he's more behind the scenes, right?
One of my boys, scored composed a movie that he was in about 2 years ago. He was a lead character, he was a lead actor in the movie, and my boy was Jali. Jali was doing he was composing the movie. He was doing the music composition in the movie. So he's still acting. I just don't think he is as big as he wants to be because of that. Like, because Braxton was saying, people will literally, he'll walk into an audition, and they'll say, "Oh snap, Braxton!" And he's actually known. He's heard casting directors say, "Yeah, he did a great job, man," but he's still Braxton. Like, people just still see Braxton, and we want this character to be clean of any other personality. And that's unfortunate because he's such a talented actor. I can't live that down, and he hasn't done it yet. So going back to what we were talking about, my characters, I knew that I didn't want Tiberius to be this typecast me as the big brolic bully dude. So I know I had to do something totally different, and that's where I came after Tiberius started blowing. I did a part 1, I did a part 2, and before I did a part 3, I made sure to do another sketch that can take me away from that character if it went viral too. And I did, I did I'm Coming Too. I play a character named Adonis, and I have a girlfriend named Sade, and this girlfriend is so overbearing. She loves me so much. She's just, I can't do anything without my woman. I can't use the bathroom. I can't do number 2 in the bathroom without my girl being in there to make sure I ain't thinking about another female. And I can't even take a nap at the house without she going, "I'm taking a nap too. Where are you going? I'm coming too. I'm coming too. You're not even sleepy, but I'm gonna be in your dreams, making sure you ain't dreaming about another bitch." That's so that sketch went viral too. So it kind of like, because at first people would say, "Oh snap, you the Tiberius dude." Then it got to the point where, "Oh snap, I'm coming too. And you got to keep progressing, keep trying to.
Now you to the max, dude.
Now you to the max, which is
Let
okay.
me tell you
that's
how
my
big.
brand.
I gotta go, but let me tell you how big the brand is, bro. To the max is associated with anybody that associates with Jah. Every time I'm wherever I am, hey, that's the To the Max dude. I'm like, I'm clearly not To the Max dude, but I say hi anyway because I understand that I'm associated with the brand. So it's more of a compliment to see how successful the brand is, that they associate you with what is great. You know what I mean? Like, I remember being in a Target. She was like, "To the max." And I said, "To the max."
Man.
And I
only
laughed
believe, brother.
Only
believe, man.
Hey, but for me, yeah, and that's important to me. But like for me, it's like my only belief is honestly for my life. Like it's really, you know what I'm saying?
It's bigger than the entertainment brand. It's a slogan, or it's a mantra, or it's it's a principle for life in general.
For life. So no, I don't think people gonna walk around in the comedic world like only believe. Like it don't click like that. To the max is a lot more cool. Like
that To the Max and that Ayo Minx was like buried in my. It was just like, and then my girlfriend, she was saying it, Ayo Minx To the Max, and I was like, it just like a ring. It was like kept remembering. And Minx
is, and I always say this, and I gotta go by. I know y'all. I want to say this. Minx is literally, and I say this, and Minx, and what I love about Minx is that he embraces it. Jade, that's his real name. Bigg Jah.
That's my name. It's Jade. It's fine.
Bigg Jah, literally, that's his, and it ain't disrespectful. His little brother in the game, like he's literally showed Minx the ropes. Like I always say, that's the person he groomed, and really from the shooting side to the comedic side, that he created this monster, if you will, of Minx. You know what I'm saying? And now Minx is his own entity, man. But I mean, he really has taken him under his wing and gave him the game, if you will. And you know, and I love their relationship because Minx also is always he's not ever lost that, you know, little brother. Obviously, he's a real little brother because he'd be going back and forth with Job. But the point, he still has that. That's still my big brother. That's the person who gave me the keys to the car and said, "Go ahead, let me teach you how to drive it." You know what I'm saying? Now that's your car. Go ahead, you know, go for yours. So I just, you know, when you associate Ayo Minx and he's literally sitting there every day taking notes from Ja. Like, okay,
he's a sponge, man. He's a sponge. He's what he reminded me of myself when I was his age, man. So
yeah, and raw talent too.
And I had mentors, I had big homies too, but not in the industry, not in entertainment. Yeah. So they couldn't really just tell me. Like he was able to see what I did and literally do the same thing. But the blueprint was right in front of his face every day.
But for
and I did that for a few people, but he's the one that kind of paid attention the most and stuck with it for the longest. And you can see the benefit of that. You know what I'm saying? But man, it took me a minute. It took me years of work. Me and Barry, I've done projects with Barry. I've done projects with other people, Clayton, BT, Nate. You know what I'm saying? I've worked with a lot of these people that are doing their thing now, and we are finally seeing the fruits of our labor, man. And hopefully, the God willing, we see more and more fruits as we keep laboring. You know what I mean?
Facts. I don't want to hold you, bro, but we got to go. Did you have any more questions? One more question before we go.
Yeah, give me like less than 1 minute.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. How do we get this out? All right. So let me. All right. Look at this, Barry. I
had some questions. Oh, you have.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So this is why. Yeah, because one thing I wanted to get into, my thing, Bigg Jah and Barry already knows. My thing is that I like. I want to spread the word of women. They're too explicit. I know that's most of your skits, but you also do a lot of skits that's not explicit.
Right.
Like you was about to go bang out and your mom told you you better bang the dishes.
Yeah. Right.
Now I know you're very private, right? But now you recently got married. And congratulations. And from what's presented, she's not like the woman that's in your skits. Nothing wrong with them at all. For the young men that's listening, why is that why that decision you made? Why is that important?
Because at the end of the day, it's entertainment. I'm also a person that I know I represent I represent hood dudes, I represent guys, I represent student athletes as well, because I was that. I'm a college boy, really. I'm a boy that went to college. I grew up in the hood, so I know the hood. I know
graduated.
I graduated, of course, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm educated. I was a teacher. For almost 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So
people don't know that.
It's important to, because of course I love yams. I love a chick that got major cakes and yammed up and all that. But that's the entertainment side. That's the funny part. That's equivalent to me walking around beating up people for money. Tiberius, I don't condone walking around slapping niggas out and none of that stuff. But it's fun because you see a woman that has body, you see her got frame, and those are realistic situations. There are men out there who date women like that, who will approach a woman and talk to her in a certain type of way, and just to see how that, and just to make fun of those situations. But the woman that I want in my life, and even before you even say that, a lot of these women that dress like that on camera, off camera, they totally different from what you would perceive them to be, and they know that. They know that their bodies are what people see and admire and want to follow and double tap on. But you sit down and talk to them outside of the camera. The cameras are off, and they're just at the house chilling. These are regular chicks. You know what I'm saying? From LA, and a lot of these women are from LA, and I know some of them. I know people who knew them, who went to high school with them. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a homegirl. She had a master's. Some of these women have masters, bro. They might have cleavage in the videos, but some of these women had professions before they even did this type of stuff. So my woman, my wife, she's totally different from the type of women that I have in the sketches, because if you think about it, the storyline it doesn't have to be, but like a lot of my storylines in relationships are arguments about cheating and arguing about I don't like your friends, I don't like this and the other, or you're lazy or something. There always has to be some kind of conflict. In my regular life, I don't even have conflict with my marriage or with my relationship. The woman that I'm involved with, we see eye to eye. We're on the same page. Excuse me. So, but that doesn't make good for comedy or for entertainment. So you got to have some type of, where have you been last night? You know what I'm saying? Who's this? Whose draws are these? In the sketch, in the storyline. You know what I'm saying? But at home, I don't go through that, because that's drama. I don't do drama in real life. You know what I'm saying? But drama for the arts, for the entertainment, that's what I do to make people, because some people do drama in their life, and maybe this could be a way of making them feel better about it, or making them get out of the situation by showing how I got out of it, or make them. Some people don't understand that there's other people out there that feel the same way. So I mean, it's a lot of people tell me, "Hey man, I saw the sketch, man. It reminded me of my ex. It took me back. You know what I'm saying? It reminded me of my girl now, or it made me think differently about how to treat my girl. This and the other. I've had all sorts of conversations based off the sketches I've done, and so like my woman is different than the type of woman that's in the sketch, because the women in the sketches, the real women in the sketches, are different from the character they're playing. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
so that's really what most of the women that I have, if they really act like that in real life, I probably wouldn't even have them in my sketches because they're hard to deal with. But in real life, they're not hard to deal with. They're very sweet. They're very nice. They're very level-headed. But in the sketch, they're playing a character. They're actresses. They're playing an overbearing girlfriend. Sade is one of the coolest chicks you could be around. But in the sketch, she plays my girlfriend. That's like, you can't go nowhere without me. You ain't gonna be dealing with no bitches. I don't even have my phone. I don't care. I'm coming too. That's the uncompromising girlfriend that's just overbearing on your head. She's 100% the opposite of that in real life. So that's what it is. So of course, my woman is nothing like the women in my sketches, because the women in my sketches aren't like the characters they're playing in my sketches.